Hello. Oh, shit. I forgot. Hope everyone's doing alright today. Actually, hold on, one more thing. Okay, that's probably. Hello. Hope everyone's weekend was good. Mine was busy. I don't know. A lot of VOD editing. Actually, just a lot of video editing in general. I did. I was up really. I want to say late this morning, but like I was up till like 7:30, editing one. Like 2. It took so long. I was also up all night, prepping for the lesson. But I'm excited about this one because it's the first voted on lesson. So if you don't like the contents, you have no one to blame. You can't blame me this time, Technically for the vote, I had just put clowns as a general thing. I mean, I put like general topics so then I could specify to my interest more after. But I think we also had like instruments, architecture a little bit. It was one of the options. What was the last one? There were 4. Oh, space. Space was. I might do space next week. No, well, maybe we'll see. Space sounds pretty good though. But everyone voted for clown, and I decided that the specific clown-related topic that we would cover today is clown fear, also known as coulrophobia for the phobia part. More specifically, I want to talk about why I think people are afraid of clowns, or like why that fear came into existence. We'll go over like, a quick history of clowning, that sort of thing. But then we'll get right into like, I don't know, my thesis on why I think people are actually afraid of them. Probably not what you would think. I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe some people would think of it, but I'm excited. I think it's gonna go a lot better than it did last week, and maybe not as good as Wales. Wales was like a top tier subject. I'm still really proud of that one, but I think this will be a close second, And I'm pretty sure I prepped everything in advance, so all my slides should be good. The video should be good. So yeah, I guess we can just get started. Let me get my slides. Oh, I always accidentally like shove it to one direction when it should just be going down like this from the get-go. Okay, I think that's it. Yes, okay. Da, 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 da. All right. Oh, right. Okay, so today's drawing prompt, if you want to draw along to the lesson, you can either design a clown Sona, you can design a little clown plushie, you could make a clown in a different aesthetic. I don't feel it out. Feel it out. Do what you think works or what you want to draw. I think I designed a clown clown plush Sona for mine. So not a full clown, because I thought that would take too long for a sketch. So I did a little plushy clown version of myself. And it went well. We're gonna see it unfold as we go along. But yeah. Okay. Off we go. I hope these are in the right order. I didn't check. I should have checked. I never think about it, you know? Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. Coulrophobia, that's how you spell it. Fear of clowns. But where did that fear begin? Why is that such a common fear? Especially in the Western world, it seems pretty common to us. More so than other parts of the world. But first, let's get into some history on clowns. I feel like I can't do a lesson without some history. I've been trying to avoid it because just history for everything seems like a lot. I don't know, but you know, sometimes we gotta talk about it a little bit. Okay, so you know, humanity has always liked funny things, you know, but clowning, or what we consider clowning as a profession, as a part in society, has been documented since around 2400 BC. I think it was first documented in like the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Egyptian Empire. But it's basically, you can find it all around the world. You know, obviously everybody likes to laugh and have people make them laugh. So it's always been a thing, you know? Anyway, some people think that clowning came from jesters, like it was like a descendant to jesters. But from these years that I researched, they're kind of around the same time. From what I could see, the difference between a jester and a clown was kind of like jester mostly is just a guy who makes fun of people to make others laugh. Like they're not putting on any kind of persona per se. But clowns, or what we call clowns, I don't know what they were called back then. There were probably a million different words for them through history. But clowns back in the day, you know, were set apart from jesters because they put on performances. Like it was a full performance instead of just someone being like, wow, this guy looks this guy smells better. I don't know, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the main difference. They've been around probably around like the same amount of time. I think clowning, especially in the Roman Empire, was usually on stage. That's another difference. And we'll get into the aesthetic differences later, but they had a very different aesthetic, like visual get up than what they do nowadays. Descendant arts of clowning include like Harlequin clowns. So at first it was just the performance, kind of like slapstick comedy, and then Harlequin and pantomime and all those came out after. And then, you know, fast forward a ton, clowns, descendant art of clowning is just stand-up comedy. Which kind of makes sense, you know, you're performing on stage, you're making people laugh. It's basically the same thing. Usually no get up, no costuming for stand-up comedy, but so I guess I would consider that like a more relaxed version. Like stand-up is kind of chill in comparison. clowning for as long as it has been a profession. We've always had like the straight man funny man duo. It's like a very consistent form of clowning through history. I forget what they used to call them, like way back. I think it was like August versus, I think the August clown was the straight man, and then the funny man was I don't know. I don't remember. It's fine. It doesn't matter what they were called. That's what it was. Here is an image of one of my favorite duos, Bert and Ernie. Bert being obviously the straight man. This doesn't mean you're straight. That just means you're like serious and you think you're like respectable. And then obviously the funny man's the one that is kind of like the butt of all the jokes, or makes most of the jokes towards the straight man. I think Bert and Ernie, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Ernie ever really super makes fun of Bert, so maybe they're not quite there, but it's like a toned down example, and I love them, so I wanted to include them a little bit. Anyway, like I said, this form of performance comedy stuff has been found all over the world. Asia, Europe, pre-colonial Americas even, Africa, etc. But now I want to talk about the actual aesthetics of clowns. So pre-1800s clowns, you know, there weren't microphones. They had to talk really loud. This lighting was hard because no electricity. So in antiquity and stuff, this profession usually called for very bright colors and either like crazy bright, I wouldn't say paint, but it was like a like precursor to face paint that they would put on. But most of the time, hello, oh shit, that's not even, that should be above that, shouldn't it? Hold on. Hello. Sorry, I couldn't see who that was, but thank you for the alert. Where was I? Right, so bright colors, and most of the time before the 1800s they would wear masks. That's where we also get the cliche like theater mask. Distraction. Wow, how dare you. I don't need a distraction, I distract myself. I hope your day was good. I hope it got better, RQ, from your kind of crazy morning. But yeah, the like sad happy face masks that people associate with like theater as like the logo of theater was for clowning. Usually they had masks that covered the whole face so people could see better. And it wasn't until the 1800s that it went from masks to face paint. Oh, that's fair. I'm glad to hear it. So there was one specific clown by the name of Joseph Grimaldi. He was known for pantomiming, and he is known as the first clown to develop face painting as his personal style. This was in the early 1800s, like 1805-ish. He was the first to do like the full clown face makeup kind of thing. And that would eventually lead to modern clown makeup. Used a lot also in circuses. Circuses started popping up shortly after Grimaldi, you know, mid 1800s or so. And they also adopted the face paint. Basically, after Grimaldi, the masks were thrown out. They're just for theater. No more clowning. No more using clowning, which is fine. I think the masks. I kind of miss the masks. I was looking through photos and they were pretty cool. But I guess face paint is like you can do more with it. You can change it up more by performance. Maybe it's not as boring. It doesn't get as old, you know. Anyway, we still have always had the bright colors, but then we added face paints, and then in the circus, I think this is a good point to mention that post 1800s clowning aesthetic got really racist. Like a lot of, you know, if you think of, I don't know, like clowns from the 1900s, I'm sure like some images that pop in your brain might be like, you know, big red mouth paint to make you look like with big lips, like the rainbow afro, the big nose and feet even are a lot of racist stuff. The hobo clown, like that whole subset of clown, well, not only is it classist for sure, but it's also very racist, because the hobo clown came around after it was like right after slaves were freed that the hobo clown came into existence, so you know that doesn't seem like a coincidence. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if you want to learn more specific details about racism in clowning, I'll link this YouTube video by someone I went to college with actually, named but I do think it's important to know this part of the history, especially if you're like an aesthetic person who likes this aesthetic, or if you're an artist who would maybe want to or has drawn a clown OC or something. Oops, sorry. I hate when videos auto start. I mean, I get it, but God. Okay, I'm gonna link. It'll also be in the link when I make the VOD, or in the description box. Anyway, here it is. Watch it at your own leisure if you are so interested. Dainty Funk is someone I went to college with. I think they were maybe a year older than... No, maybe we were about the same age. But yeah. Yeah, I did want to touch on it because it's part of clown history. It's hard to avoid, and it's something you should keep in mind is if you're venturing into clown aesthetic nowadays. I think people are doing a good job of like gearing away from those kind of racist aesthetic points, which is good, but sometimes I still see it, especially the big lips, like the fully round like pink or red lips are still, still see it a lot, honestly, in anime, in some cartoons, even in like plushes and like sticker designs that indie creators make. I mean, they're doing it because they think it's cute, but I feel like it's kind of weird given its history, you know. But anyway, I digress. We're moving on. Clown aesthetic. Another aesthetic style that I think derives from clowning aesthetic is Harajuku fashion. I have some images here. Like, this was under clown aesthetic, but it looks just like Harajuku fashion to me too. So I think it's fun that they're kind of related. very bright. Rainbows are the prevalent color scheme, so if that's something you're into, you know, you might want to give it a try. Fun fact, Britney Spears has a song called She's Not. Stop. Anyway, most modern clowns derive from circus clown and Grimaldi. I don't think there's really any that go back to masks or anything like that. But also in the 1800s is when we first get our scary clowns. And after that, you know, it just becomes a whole subgenre of clown. Is the killer clown or scary clown. It starts in the late 1800s. First depiction appeared in an Italian opera named Pagliacci. You know, that name sounds familiar to me, but I don't know what like the opera's about per se. I assume it's a clown that's harassing or killing people in some way. Anyway, this opened the door for scary clowns. Then in the 1900s, we get DC's Joker around 1940. About 40 years later, in the 1980s, we get It by Stephen King that has Pennywise, which is technically like an alien clown, but also just kills people and just looks like a regular clown most of the time. There's even a clown in real life that went around killing people back in the day. I mean, I don't want to get into that because that's actually scary. And I know not everybody likes talking about like true crime, but if you're interested, if you Google it, I'm sure it'll come up. Anyway, after all these, it basically became like a pop culture phenomenon, and by the 80s it was like a well-known thing. Like, yeah, there's a whole subset of evil clowns. And you might think that, oh wait, shit, was that too soon? You might think that that is the reason why people are afraid of them, because they started getting like a negative light about them with all these different forms of media, but I don't think that's fully the case. I think the fear of clowns is much more innate and not actually related to clown itself or to the clown itself. But I think, which is the main part of this whole lesson, that the reason people are actually afraid of clowns is because we have a need for facial expression in social communication, and whenever we don't have that, whenever we can't understand people's facial expressions, or it's hard for us to like feel the intentions of the person we're talking to, it becomes unsettling, and then it becomes scary because we're like, what the fuck? It's basically uncertainty, right? Because I mean, you know, masks and face paint and all these like crazy colors divert your eye and make it harder to actually see the face behind all that paint. And I think you can tell in like a lot of horror movies with clowns, like they really bank on that, like, oh, like they're making this face, but you can't tell if that's, you know, what they actually, like what the thoughts behind that face are, right? And that's where the unsettling part comes in. But yeah, sorry, I lost my spot in my notes. Hold on. Anyway, so that's why I think coulrophobia, or the fear of clowns, is actually like very much attached to this other phobia I did some research on. Actually, a couple of them. They're all kind of like intertwined with that same unsettling fear from not being able to either see a facial expression or understand it. So some fears that have this exact same problem are masklophobia, which is the fear of masks or costumes or mascots. Also robophobia, the fear of robots. Because, you know, before we started making robots more human-esque, I'm sure that fear wasn't that common. But the more human we try to make something that isn't, subsequently, the more unsettling it becomes. Which is also what Uncanny Valley is about. This is a... Uncanny Valley is basically like that whole premise of the more you make something human in technology, the more scary it becomes and the more we're afraid of it, because it's still like not quite there, like it's not quite fully human. So you see like it attempting it, and that in itself is unsettling. But anyway, that's also why a lot of serial killers wear masks. You would think partially it's to hide their face and identity, obviously, but also partially it's because, especially in movies, you want to give that fear of uncertainty. Like you can't tell what's going on behind the mask. Then we have, you know, a lot of kids and even some adults are afraid of sports mascots and theme park mascots like Mickey Mouse. And you know, that might partially stem from just how big they are, because obviously with a whole ass suit like that you look huge, but it might also be like just a creepy face that never changes. You can't tell again what's going on back there. But anyway, my favorite mascot is actually retired now. This is a fish mascot from Japan. I think it was for a baseball team over there, but it was an anglerfish, and it had like, oh my god, this mascot had like 5 different suits. It had like this base anglerfish, then it had the bones so it could like jump out of the suit and be its own thing on, like by itself. Then there was one where it was like a giant version of the bone that it wore. There were a lot. There was like 5 different suits that it could wear. And finally, I think it retired a couple years ago, like recently. I'm kind of sad about it. I don't know if they're going to get a new mascot or if they're just going to stay away from it, but I miss the anglerfish. It was cute. Anyway, there was something else. Hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Aliens can also fall under this fear. Obviously we're afraid of aliens partially because we would think that if they contacted us, they would have like superior technology, and that way they would fucking destroy us. My personal belief is that they wouldn't, because I feel like to get to that point in technology, a society would have to become very peaceful and work together and stuff. But that part doesn't matter. I think in horror movies or alien movies, usually the parts that scare people the most are when the humans are trying to interact with the aliens and they just can't, because there's like a language barrier, or the aliens just look like they're staring at you, like unnerving. And that's where the fear comes in. I guess people also have like the, you know, world-ending fear, but I don't think that's as prevalent, especially in movies. Hydration, thank you, I will. Also attached to these fears is my personal fear of talking animals. Very unsettling, because, you know, animals, like, you can kind of understand how they're feeling sometimes, but there are certain animals whose faces are just so different from ours that you just couldn't even begin to decipher it. Maybe some people can in like body language, but if you're just staring at like this deer, look at that face. You don't know what the fuck it's thinking about. It's so creepy. I like got traumatized by this deer when I was a kid watching Adventure Time, especially this scene where it started taking off its hooves and it had hands. Oh, I hated that. I hated its fucking face. It was so creepy. And so are you scared of cat? No. Catboys have human faces, bro. What are you talking about? Also, cat faces and like actual cats have like flatter faces, so people can project better onto them. As far as facial expressions go. That's why we also have an easier time with dogs. I think the longer and less flat the animal face becomes, the more we can't project onto it as well, and then it becomes like, oh, I don't know what the fuck this animal's thinking about. I don't know if it's okay with me, or if it hates me, or if it wants to attack me, Then you have to look at other body language, but you can't really rely on facial expression with that. Anyway, I also want to slightly, very quickly touch on the other side of the coin, which is whenever people become afraid of something, there will always be a group of people, or maybe after a period of time this comes up, where people start becoming attracted to that scary thing. I'm talking about monster fuckers, okay? I'm talking about monster fuckers. They also exist, and they are very down to clown, pun intended, with things that other people find terrifying. Hi Chris, perfect timing. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go into detail on why that happens. It doesn't, like adrenaline, you're afraid of something and you get this adrenaline rush, and then it becomes like your brain correlates it with something not as bad, and then you want to have sex with it. I don't know. It's fine. It doesn't matter why. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how the fear of clowns is the same fear as masks, mascots, aliens, robots, talking animals. I think they're all the same fear, and that is our fear of not being able to understand these beings' facial expressions, either because they are of different species to us, or because they're covered with something, so it's hard to read. It just comes down to like human social necessities. And I think this is especially common in the Western world, because we rely so much on facial expression in our day-to-day to gauge whether someone's a threat or not, especially in the States. You know our track record. I actually found out that in some countries in like Asia and stuff, people don't really like smile at strangers, because they have different ways of being respectful and showing that they're not, like, they don't think like, oh, this person could be a threat. They're just like, oh, that's just some person who's not part of my life. But here, because I guess we're so aggressive, I don't want to say, well, probably aggressive, right? We have to more often show like, hey, I'm just a guy, I'm not gonna hurt anybody, I'm gonna smile at you even though I don't know who the fuck you are. But yeah, that was my thesis on why clowns are scary. Also, let me link that video again now that other people are here. Like I said earlier, be careful with how you portray clowns in your art or in your aesthetic, because a lot of traditionally clown-esque aesthetic or you know, visuals are racist. I just want to make that very, very clear. I think it's good to know. This video will teach you about it more than I could. I am not qualified really, and also I didn't really hit that much on the aesthetic part. We can't hear sound alerts. What? I've been hearing them. Well, all my audio's on, so you should hear it. Can you hear the music okay? Maybe the music's too loud. Hold on. I think maybe it's the music. Here, let me do this.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Did you hear that one? You can read a clown if they want you to. You know, you're probably right. Probably right. And wow, I actually took the basically the same amount of time as my sketch video took for once. Usually I was so much faster. It's because I was rambling more. I did so much research into fucking clowns, and then I had to do research about all this other stuff when I realized that it was like my idea for the fear part. God, this fucking deer. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Hold on. Let me show my obligatory bibliography. I had a fear of clowns as a baby, and then instantly realized they were just funky little guys. I was gonna call you out. I was gonna say you became a clown fucker, but no, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think people usually like this kind of fear people grow out of as they get older, because they're, you know, usually when we're socializing, the more we socialize, the more we learn how to tell different things apart and that sort of thing. So usually kids, once they learn like, oh, this, even though the clown has that face, that's kind of unsettling, they're just a guy. Anyway, that's it for my slides. What do you guys think? Any questions, any comments, concerns before we get into fun facts and drawing? Alright, I'll just go ahead and say the first fun fact since I brought it up. Fun fact number 1. The word clown was first recorded around 1560 and is thought to have derived from a Scandinavian word for clumsy. Don't ask me what that word is, I didn't look it up. So who knows what they were called before 1500s, I guess. I don't know. What artists are from the circuit? What do you mean? There are no artists from the circus. The circus is bad. I don't condone the circus in general. What does marmalade have to do with the circus? Oh my god. That clip. Wow. What about an all-human circus? Maybe. I mean, I think even then they're it could have its issues. But I do think it's better when no animals are involved. Poor things. Oh, but yes, starfish. I was looking at like clown plush shapes to decide on what I wanted to do, and at first I was gonna do like the basic round head and little body, but then I saw the the starfish shape, and I was like, yes, that's me. That's me. Fun fact: my family's also anti-circus, so I've never been. I was kind of naive growing up, so I didn't become anti-circus until like high school, and so before that we did go once. That was way back in the day, like 2012 maybe. No, before that, 2010, I want to say. Let me drink some. Did you guys see my introductory video, the song video thing? I spent so long on it, so I'm trying to advertise as much as I can. I did. Yay! It literally took me an hour to record because I kept fucking up because it's so fast. And then it took me another hour just to edit in all the like images for it. Ugh, painful. I was so sweaty afterwards. I was like speedrunning those edits. Cause I looked at the time. I was like, it's bedtime. I was supposed to be in bed like an hour ago. I think it's funny. I saw someone do that on TikTok, and they were like, "This meme might be dead, but I'm still doing it." And I looked, and it was like from 2 years ago. It was like its peak. It's crazy. I was going very late, but it's fine. I was just a PNG 2 years ago, and not a very good one at that. Anyway, let me get drawing. These are all big shapes, so I don't think it'll take me as long as like the plant did, but I always say that and then it still takes me forever. So. Feel free to draw with me. I don't know if anyone has an opinion on this, but I can't ever decide. So the lesson part I always put under just chatting. I never know if I should change to art when I get to this part, or if it's fine if I keep it under just chatting. What do you guys think? What would you do? It's so lumpy. have such a hard time simplifying my hair. I guess this is probably fine. What's the difference between a clown and a jester? Wow. Well, I already went over it. So the main difference is that, I mean, obviously in modern media, we kind of interchange them sometimes and interchange their roles. But historically, jesters didn't really put on a performance of any kind. Like, they didn't put on a persona or stand on stage for anything. I know that's why I said I was kidding. They were just guys who kind of made fun of people to make others laugh, you know. Whereas clowns put on those performances. They were on stage. They had like these bigger than life personas or acts, if that makes sense. That's their main differences. Nowadays, like, jesters are portrayed as like goofy guys, but they used to just be like, they kind of just stood around making fun of people. Clowning was heavily tied to like theater for a long time, until the circus, I would say. That's why it turned into stand-up comedy, partially. You know, people would still go on stage and be funny. Marthas, hello. How's it going? Welcome. I'm drawing a little plushie of myself as a clown. How's your day been? Yeah, start Kibby. Can I talk about something horror related a little bit? Since I did talk about the scary clown trope, but last night I took a small break to watch a streamer for a bit, and they were playing Dead by Daylight, which I haven't played in like probably over a year now. But I forgot Nick Cage is officially in it, and there's a new killer that's like a knight, a huge knight, and I was like, Smash, Daddy Knight Smash. They also added like a bunch of new animations. It kind of makes me want to play again. I haven't played it in so long, but there's so many new things. There's so many new things. New killers, new survivors. I don't know if there's a new map or anything. New animation. But damn, that night killer. I don't know if it was a skin for someone that I'm not registering, but damn. I do love a monster in uniform. They're also adding what's the thing, Alien soon, I heard, or a rumor. And what's her name, Ellen Ripley or whatever, as the survivor. Anyway, enough about DVD. How about we go to fun fact number 2? Boop. This was I only touched on robots a little bit, but Uncanny Valley is a term coined in the 70s to describe the correlation between how human-like a robot becomes and the emotional response it evokes in humans. I think it was coined by a Japanese professor named Masahiro Mori, I think. And usually the emotional response is negative. It's like, okay, imagine a graph. Imagine a graph. Stretch break. Wait, hold on. Let me tell you about Uncanny Valley really quick, and then I'll take a stretch break. Okay, imagine a graph, and this is how human a robot gets versus the emotional response. Like how much we're like, hell yeah, human robot. And it goes like this. Well, at some point around here, we hit Uncanny Valley, where it's becoming like just the right amount of human, but not quite enough that we're just like, what the fuck is that? And it becomes creepy. And then eventually it's supposed to go back up like this. I don't know if we're there yet, but I think it's kind of a funny thing. We're just like, hell yeah, human robots, and then we're just like, no, never mind, no, go back. Exactly. And obviously, even in Uncanny Valley, there's some people who are into it, but we don't need to talk about it as much. Where does this guy fall in? Probably like around here. Anyway, what's masculophobia? Masculophobia is the fear of masks, costumes, and mascots. I tied it together with the fear of clowns because obviously clowns wear a lot of costuming and that sort of thing. Oh yeah, I got fear of clowns. Oh no. Does that mean you wouldn't want to be near one, or is it just like the scary evil horror movie clown? So if you saw a real one, you'd be like, yeah, it's fine. I used to have that with frogs, actually. Now I can kind of be near them, and I do like frog drawings. I think not real frogs are cute, and I think tree frogs are cute. But when they start going more toad-like, I start getting kind of scared and would rather not touch them, you know. You shouldn't really touch shit you don't know. Well, some people just, hold them without any problems. They're not like afraid of them. Even if they start like hopping near me, I'm just like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm making some distance. But I used to actively, when I was a kid, I would like run away. Like I was like, fuck no, I'm out of here. I think my worst memory with this, my family, it was like me, my sibling, my mom, and our cousin were hiking in the spring, mind you. Obviously, this is why I only go hiking in like the winter now, partially. But we were hiking and we would get to a part of the hike where it's near a pond, and the whole trail for like 30 feet is just covered in toads, and I thought I was gonna pass out. Like, I made everyone go ahead of me to like shoo them out of the way, and then I just ran through. It's like the ick factor. Like, I know they wouldn't hurt me, but there's something about it. Just like, yeah, move, I'm gay. Exactly. Me with bees. No. I've never been afraid of bugs. I mean, sometimes spiders make me nervous because I don't know what kind it is, and I don't know if it would actually fuck me up. But I'm not afraid of like spiders themselves, you know? It's more like, could they kill me? But bees have never been an issue. I've been stung by one. I accidentally stepped on it when I was younger. But I just kind of felt bad. Like, it hurt, but I was just like, no. Since bees are so important and they're going on the route to extinction because of us. Spiders are so fucked because one of the badly venomous ones are common in houses. Exactly. My mom, right before she sold our like childhood home, found out that there was a swarm of black widows in like the crawl space underneath our house. And I was like, bro, if we had like any kind of hole that led to from there to our like indoor house part, our cats would have been fucking murdered. Like, we had 2 cats in that house. Terrifying. I mean, we could have died too, but I was mostly worried about them since they're so small. Gotta get it, like, had to get them fumigated before she could sell the house. I mean, spiders are mostly really tame, but yeah, but you never know when they could feel threatened. And all it takes is like a single bite, usually, for some of them. Oh my god, that reminds me. There's one, it's not a spider, but I was gonna do a lesson on this type of sea snail that is like one of the deadliest creatures in the whole world. And it can kill you in like, 2 seconds flat. Like less than 2 minutes. A single bite for sweet necrosis. No. Zakora, hello. I will hydrate. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know if I'll do a full lesson on it, but here's a PSA. If you go to the beach and you see a shell on the beach or in the water that's spiral or like round in any way, don't touch it, because that's cone snails have those shells, and that shell could be empty, but do you want to take the risk? Because the second you grab that shell and there's a cone snail inside, you could be dead. Like, it is like there's I mean, you could, like, there's a chance you can survive, but it's a very low chance. And also, it's not like a time related thing. It's just like if it stabs you with its like harpoon tongue, you just fall over and die like instantly. Sunny Diaz Zakora runs the fuck away. No. Why do you guys always throw things? Why can't you just be nice and hand them to each other? Eats? No, don't eat the cone snail. I'm telling you to not mess with the cone snail. Stick to flat like clam shells. But yeah, if you go to the basically all over the world, there's a chance. I think mostly Pacific, but even on the East Coast, I think there's a chance that you can find a cone snail. Not my style. This is a place of learning, sir. Your style doesn't matter here. Alright. Who's ready for next fun fact? I only have 5 this week, but it's fine. Oh, this is my favorite. I remember this exact thing. In 2016, a case of mass hysteria involving clown sightings occurred across the eastern United States. Basically what happened is in 2016, a horror movie film thing was doing a stunt to advertise in Wisconsin. But people didn't know what was happening, so the police were just getting calls of like a creepy clown sighting, and then it invoked mass hysteria like all up the East Coast, where people started seeing creepy ass clowns everywhere, like near the forest or near schools or like empty parking lots at night, that sort of stuff. And it got so bad that sightings even started appearing in Canada and Australia from this. I remember it. I remember being like, what the fuck is happening? I lived in an area that had a big clown posse fan base, and they dress up like clowns. So I was like, what if it's just them hanging out? But it wasn't even that. It was just one stunt to try to advertise for a horror movie that led to everyone freaking the fuck out. That was a wild year. Anybody else remember the clown sightings? That was the year I graduated high school. And like got my surgery and stuff. Crazy. I remember in college I was told to stay in dorms during Halloween that year. Oh my god. Dang. This kind of reminds me of what, 2017? What happened in 2017? Maybe it was residual from the 2016 sighting. for the evening? Anybody drawing with me? All right, let's do phone fact number 4. Oh yeah, this is basically nothing to do with clowns, but the term mascot comes from the French word mascotte. I don't know. I don't speak French. It's fine. Which means lucky charm. Originally, I think it was only supposed to be like inanimate objects as lucky charms. But then at some point, you know, people started to be like, oh, this person's my lucky charm, or this animal's my lucky charm. And then like companies were like, what if we had like a little company charm creature, and that became like today's mascot, like the Geico Gecko, and then it went to sports. Maybe it went to sports first. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe kind of went into both around the same time. Chuck E. Cheese. For anyone wondering, I have 2 mascots. I have a lucky mascot, which is Tab, and I only have Tab because I originally had an unlucky mascot, which is my fucking cat Billy. I had to like counteract her chaos with luck. I got Tab. guess we could do the last fun fact before it gets too late. I don't even remember what it was. Oh yeah, that's basically saying clowncore as like a wardrobe aesthetic is thought to have come from Juggalos, which is the fan base for Insane Clown Posse. I wonder if they're still active. I mean, probably, right? I haven't heard about them in a long time. I grew up in a place where they were pretty well known, so maybe since I've left that area, that's why I don't hear about it as much. But yeah, those are all the fun facts for the night. Can I leave it up? I'll leave it up for now. I never listened to Insane Clown Posse, but how chaotic. Or are. They might still, if they're still around, I'm sure they're still just as chaotic. Shape just reminds me of the Bunny Round audio. Little legs aren't meant for distance. Or something like that. Color the nails, the claws. Yes. Go with. So I should do these costumes. You know, instead of this being like a starfish hood type of thing, it kind of just looks like the back of their jacket is being pinched up, held in place. Anyway, I'm done. I don't want this to be too long, and I don't know. There's basically all that's left is detail work, and I don't really need to do that necessarily, since it's just a little doodle thing. But thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the lesson today. Maybe learned something new, or maybe just vibed with me. Either way, I appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow for... Wait, no. Break tomorrow. I'll see you Wednesday for some monster camp with my friend Chris. And maybe someone else. But at least Chris for sure. Okay. Is there someone to send you to? We'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, Lumi's up. I'll send you guys to Lumi Seal. I'm not sure. Probably. I think she's drawing. Working on emotes. I need to work on emotes. We'll do that sometime this month. But we'll go say hi. Thank you again. Hope everyone has a good night. Hope you sleep well. And yeah. Bye-bye.
Sensei Soda Pop! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome, welcome! Oh wait, this is Carbon now. Carbon! Welcome! Thank you for the raid! Hi! I was like, huh? Let me give you a shout out. Sensei Soda Pop. Woo! How's everyone?